ever left your house at night to go out for nightlife, you would have encountered Clint, but also in the literary world, and his publishing record shows that. He's been published in impressive literary magazines as well as Hustler. So please welcome Clint Catalyst.
Woo! Thank you so much, Stephen. I'm very honored to be here. Such a talented lineup, especially at the Tom Finland House, which growing up a queer kid in a small town in Arkansas, before the internet, I have a very long history with his body of work. So, a little background here. I'm jumping right in on a piece. So it's spring of 1998 in San Francisco, and I'm living with some misfits in a flat. My roommate's name is Desiree. She's a polite little goth girl from Connecticut who ended up getting some roommates she didn't anticipate, and one of them is standing right here. Late one afternoon, 4 or 5 or something, Philip was off at work and Desiree was coming in from work, stepping off the 24 Divisadero as I was struggling with the locks downstairs. I hated those fucking locks. 2 keys for the protective gate, 2 for the general door, 2 more for our place upstairs, then add another for my bedroom, but that hadn't happened yet. I'm getting ahead of myself. Ew, what stinks? Queried D-Rock as she clomped up our apartment staircase in platform Mary Jane's, wide and pigeon-toed, her nose crinkled in disgust. I don't know, I said and quickly scanned the soles of my shoes. On the heels of this inspection, Desiree noticed something in the hallway. What the? Dark brown splatters on the oak wood floor. A winding, chunky trail. A tar-like path leading from the bathroom, stopping at Eric's door. Quickly, we surmised this was something wrong, something sick. We knew that. Oh my fucking God. It couldn't be. No way. It couldn't be. But the ardent way she spoke assured it was. Oh my fucking God. D-Rock attacked his door, really pounded on it, wailing with both her fists. Then, oh my fucking God. She launched into a grand mal, full-on thrashing and stomping and spitting out obscenities with Eric's name. This is so disgusting. What? The door flew inward, half open, blocked by Eric's nude torso. A dense, musky spell rushed at us. A pungent mix of gamey pubes and poop. What do you mean, what? Desiree's arm shot out to an index finger, a point. This! Eric laughed a tiny, nervous laugh and shrugged his shoulders. I just stood there, taking it all in. Such a performance. Eric had upped the ante in the illicit substances department. That's to say, he graduated to booty popping. Slamming speed up the butt. Pull the needle out, slide the apparatus in, and voila. Warm waves, ripples of euphoria a la Billie Holiday without going all the way the other way. But the way it went for him was right back out. Yes, he took a shit. Or rather, it took him, this exhaust trail, to his bedroom. Clean this up! Desiree gave the churlish proclamation and stomped off. Slam goes her door. Then there around Eric's comes a second one. Head, that is. Bug-eyed and shriveled, painfully skinny, blistered with sweat. Surveying the situation, it worked. He looked eerily familiar. Not in that, I think I've seen you somewhere before kind of way, but okay, now, who is this point of reference? Oh my God, I dallied. Tim? Yes, Clint? It was. Upon arrival in San Francisco, my first job had been at Kinko's Coffees. I lasted a week and a half, including training. These 2 girls who worked at Act One had yanked me up and placed me in a better paying temp position since I had a college degree. Why would you want to work at Kinko's? They waxed rhetorically. Before the Great Escape, Tim had been my manager, the guy who interviewed me, hired me, and shipped me off to Burlingame for a barrage of lengthy introductory videos and Q&A sessions, but now a drugged look was so deep in his eyes, all personality was drowned in it. What I learned in a few minutes, what he'd been reduced to in that 4-year span, sent Freon up my spine. 50 pounds lighter and aged at least a decade, living at a residential hotel on Market, living off out calls he made through an escorts ad in the Bay Area Reporter. Glamorous. Oh yeah, and I shouldn't forget his shoulder, the right one, still propped up by a makeshift brace from a couple months prior when he'd broken his collarbone. A wrong move. He fell out of a tree. A 35-year-old man had the urge to climb trees and be one with nature. Just for grins, in San Francisco, I need not say more. Quasi-civilization had now officially slipped away. I was living with a guy who not only defecated on the floor, but also didn't bother to wipe it up. Moreover, when he conceded to do so, his act of retribution consisted of casually strolling out with a towel wrapped around his midsection like a sarong, thin and flowing, and dabbing at the mess with a handful of napkins. More rubbing it into the cracks of that scuff-marked floor than cleaning it up, his lips curled into a sneer. Was this a passive-aggressive act? His demented version of sincerity? What the common folk would call a joke? Whatever the case, Mark sure didn't find it funny. Not that Desiree and I were exactly doubled over in laughter, but Mark was livid to our 2 counts sicked out. Wait a minute. He put speed up his butt? Shh, Desiree nodded as if Eric overhearing our late-night kitchen conference would have made any difference. Is that a gay thing? Then editing himself so as not to offend me. I mean, does it work that way? Mark had to make sure he was getting this right. Total socio-behavioral story. I was doing the same with his Fimo clay bracelets and dreadlocks tipped with neon-colored beads. Yeah, sure, I explained. Actually, I'd read about the workings of the butt and joy of gay sex, so maybe it was a gay thing. The tissue up there is the consistency of toilet paper. Shh, Desiree tossed me the penciled brows, a violent pitch of shut the fuck up. Worked for him enough to crap all over the place, Desiree countered. Enough said. Mark nodded, his meat and processed chemical-free skin visibly crawling from the thought. And he's got a hooker over here? The way he said hooker made it sound like radar range or persnickety or commode, one of those archaic words. When I've got a camera, supplies, when we all got stuff, group nod of agreement at that one. Well, then it's settled. He clapped his hands a single time in that decidedly male way, more of a deep cup. This guy's gotta go. Wow, this guy had balls. Not even on the lease, a measly sublet of something like a month, and already there he was, throwing people out on the sidewalk. Quite a change from the meek health food store boy I'd seen. Then again, I guess we all have our breaking points. Shit on the floor just happened to be his. Which is what nudged Mark into handyman mode. I couldn't tell you much about his artistic merit, but he could install locks like a motherfucker. The fact that Desiree, he, and I all had individual locks on our doors before dusk the next day amazed me. We were good to go. That is, until Mark went into the restroom to clean up and wash his hands. Ah! He sprinted back into Desiree's room where we were comfortably sprawled across the... Sorry, I got braces, you guys. So sprawled, a middle-aged teenager, sprawled across the bed, listening to Depeche Mode. It's no good on our unpredictable boombox. Mark's face, usually a robust melon pink, was pale and ashen. There's more. More what? I asked apathetically, dull from Klonopin. All over the bathtub. His words were clipped. No. Desiree's face registered sheer horror, her bouncy ringlets trembling as if the blood had suddenly drained from her head. We ran to the back room and examined the evidence. This time it was no measly trail. It was an enormous brown sludge eclipsing the tub, a grisly mud puddle we knew wasn't mud. And it was ripe. Fresh. There are few things in this world I cannot easily give nomenclature to. The way this smelled is one of them. Overwhelming and profound, the stench rose and seemed to mat the mucous membranes of my nose. I fled down the hallway and fought my gag reflex. When did this happen? I hadn't seen Eric since the incident yesterday, though I assumed he was still home. Thrill cult seeped faintly through his door. From where had this materialized? Was it some karmic fecal matter of the cosmos? I hadn't heard Eric lumber across the hallway into the shower, and that clumsy dung hag was about as quiet as I was straight. This had turned into a series. Sex and the Shitty. When did he have a chance to spew more poo? In my bedroom, I lit Nog Champa and listened to Deep Powwow with the Poopmeister. Sometimes incense is nice and everything, but it made my closet-sized sanctum smell like a Grateful Dead parking lot. Anyway, Desiree was noticeably calmer than the last time they chatted. He was, at best, monosyllabic. And what could best be described as an extensive experiment in sleep deprivation, Eric had reached the primal grunts and syllabic fragments of the serotonin-depleted stage, a brain melt zone I've been reduced to countless times myself. Methamphetamine is so flowers for Algernon. All that superhuman cerebral ability fades to limited physical activities like stapling carpet scraps to the wall or masturbation antics worthy of the Guinness Book of World Records. Yes, Eric was responsible for the restroom defecation project. Yes, Tim was still shacked up with him. Yes, they were both defiant in body language, and yes, all of this was a problem. A cursory knock-knock and D-Rock entered my lair. He's cleaning it up, she said, sitting down on my infinity print rug. I should hope so. Desiree, he shat, she nodded, extracted the camel, in our shower.
Oh.
Mm-hmm, she agreed, a acerbic grin curled around her cigarette. He did. Now we have to get flip-flops, she said in a breath of smoke. Flip-flops? I was gonna have to shower in flip-flops? What a fashion nightmare. Plus, one of Desiree's eyebrows was smudged. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you, Clint Catalyst.